welcome to our 12th episode of our Season 8 Rewatch of America's Got Talent. I'm Cody Patterson. Along with me is the guy who hates homework but loves NASCAR in One Direction. Here's Cody Mims.
Hello. Taylor makes me smile.
Yeah, Taylor did pretty good tonight. I can't wait until we get a chance to talk about him.
Yeah.
But before we get to the performances, we have some AGT news this week.
Mm-hmm.
First off, production has been halted.
Yes.
We all reach out to Mel B this week. The passing of her dad has halted AGT filming, and we're not sure when it's going to start up again, but hopefully it will soon. But until then, we're all thinking about the Mel B family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, there's some potential hosts that's been making the news this week.
Yeah.
There was an article that came out earlier in this week, and the first place I saw it was TMZ, and you can kind of take it or leave it because of TMZ, but I think some other news outlets have started reporting this as well, that there could be a potential host in either Marlon Wayans, Tone Bell, not Tone the Chief Rocca, sorry about that, or Brandon Michael Smith.
Yeah. What do you think of this lineup?
I thought this was an interesting lineup. I know Marlon Wayans way back in the 80s and early 90s, and just off the top of my head, I cannot remember what the show was that the Wayans brothers did. It was kind of their little skit show that was trying to compete with Saturday Night Live on Fox. Kind of where
Was it Mad TV?
It might have been Mad TV. It was where Paula Abdul got her start as a fly girl.
Okay.
So it was kind of that same era. The Wayans brothers did it. Paula Abdul started with it. Marlon Wayans and Damon Wayans, they've all been around a really long time. I'm not familiar with Tone Bell. It says he's in The Flash, and I've been watching The Flash on Netflix. So I may not have gotten to the part where Tone Bell joins The Flash yet. So I'm not too familiar with him. And I'm not that familiar, I don't think, with Brandon Michael Smith either.
Yeah, I don't really know any of these guys.
Okay. So any of them what do you think? I mean, do you want them as a host, or do you even know at this point?
I don't really. They'd probably be fine. This is Simon narrowing this down, right?
That's right. Simon's apparently doing the final cuts on this.
Yeah. So he's narrowed it down to 3 black comedians, and that's kind of an interesting part of it. I mean, I don't think anyone can be like Nick or replace Nick, and I'm not sure that's what he's really trying to do with that. I mean, there are also concerns that if you replace him with a white person, I mean, some people might not like that. So I don't know if that may not have factored into his decision at all. But yeah, I don't know any of these people, so it'll be interesting to see.
Okay. When I first saw this list, I thought the same thing that you just said, was that it was 3 black comedians. I'm not sure that, again, like what you just said, I'm not sure that was at the forefront of his mind. These are probably just 3 guys that don't have much going on right now, and they were the most available at this time.
Yeah. So I don't know what he's going to pick. I guess, wait a second. Okay, I'm on this on-camera audiences page again. It says that it's going to tape Thursday, March 9th, so I guess they're doing a show today.
Yeah, that would be today, so maybe they're doing one this evening.
Yeah, in like 3.5 hours.
So
has this? I guess that we got to know, right?
We have to know. There's got to be somebody that's going to be at the taping tonight that's going to announce all this, or someone's going to tweet out who shows up and says, "Welcome to America's Got Talent."
Yeah.
Now, some of the articles I've seen in the last couple of days was that Marlon Wayans was the front runner for this. So I guess we'll just have to wait until this evening and see what the Twitterverse, maybe we have to check out at Howie Mandel and see what he tweets out.
Yes. So, this is really weird. This is a chaotic way to start the season.
I agree. It's very odd that they're not coming out and saying, "Hey, our host for this season is going to be this person."
Maybe they're gonna Photoshop someone in afterwards.
Some post-production green screen where they have someone just show up on the stage in a green screen.
Are they gonna have something where they're like, "Marlon's late. How are we gonna start the show?" And then it's like this whole they do this skit when he really wasn't even there. I don't know. It's very weird, but looking forward to seeing how that goes, and our hearts go out to Mel B.
I really hate to even say this, but what if this turns out to be just a huge publicity stunt for AGT?
What is?
And Nick just shows up at the performance hall, and there he is.
Oh man, that could be a Howie prank, I guess.
It could be. I mean, that would be one long, drawn out Howie prank.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I was there.
Yeah, I would like to see what's going to happen tonight.
Well, I guess it won't be long before we have an update on that. So
yeah, cool. Those of you that are listening, if you want to check out at AGTcast, I'm sure we'll retweet something that comes out within the next few hours. So go follow us on Twitter. Well, you ready to get into some performances?
Sure.
We are in the top 12.
Yeah. Turns out it's not the finals.
No. So those of you that tuned in last week, I said that this week would be the finals. Well, AGT kind of pulled one over on me and decided to do a top 12 round. So the top 12 acts will perform this week. They will then cut that down to 6. And Nick told us next week was the finals. So next week we will then see the final 6 perform, and then a champion is crowned. At least that's what they told us.
Yeah. I guess this was a standard procedure back in the day. I don't know. It's I was very confused. I was kind of blindsided.
I was very confused too, and I don't remember this, but it has been several years since I watched, so I just didn't remember this happening. Now, we didn't do this in season 11, is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think we had a 12 and then they crowned a champion. Or maybe we had a 10 and they crowned a champion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we now have our top 12, so we're going to go through each one of those this evening, and we will narrow it down to 6, and then we will reconvene next week and watch the final 6. Are you ready to get into it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, AGT apparently listened to our podcast last week because they decided to put the Chicago Boys first, just like I said.
Cool.
I was really excited to see them go first. They have a huge amount of energy. It's a great way to start off the show. They really didn't have much in their intro package. Basically, the intro packages were, hey, we're glad to be in the top 12. We can't believe that we got chosen. Was that kind of the gist of each intro package?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. So, part of it's kind of the same act. They do acrobatics, flips, jumps. They use jump ropes. One of the really cool things they did this evening, they had a jump rope inside a jump rope. I think they did the pyramid again on a jump rope.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
They messed up at one part, and I was like,
they did. I know.
Yeah. And then their ending move is so silly, and I think I like it.
Where they kind of just laid down on the ground and kind of posed. Is that what it was?
No, just the whole like stack of people that they have. Just the one
Oh,
kid is like between the two human pillars. It's very odd.
yeah. I was thinking on the time they made the mistake, Pierce would have buzzed him for that.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Anyway, I don't think I would have voted for this, but it wasn't bad.
No, it was fun to watch. I would not have voted for it either. I felt bad for him when they made the mistake. And I think the guy in the results one of the guys even owned up to it that he made the mistake. I think tonight's performances were so much better than what we've seen. I think as a whole, this was so spectacular. I think last week I mentioned there was only about 2 or 3 that I would have voted for that really deserved to move on. This week I think it was more like 8 or 9 that really deserved to move on.
Yeah, it's pretty elite.
Yeah, it was really elite, but I felt bad for them because after that mistake, there was no way I could have voted for him after that mistake.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch them, but I think after watching the rest of them, I think everything else was much better.
Yeah.
No. You have anything else for the Chicago boys?
No.
Okay. We then get Brandon James, and he in his intro he had his parents with him, and they were helping him pursue his dream. They were excited to see him on stage. He said Forte is a force to be reckoned with.
Uh-huh.
He sang the song Hallelujah. What did you think of this?
Finally, a song I like.
Really? Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, I like the song.
Okay.
The lasers looked awesome also, but
yes, they did.
The performance didn't really come alive for me, I guess.
Do you think he had more passion or about the same passion as he did last week?
About the same.
Okay. So not much.
I don't know.
Okay. I noticed, commented last week about his hair and his outfit. This, once again, kind of stuck out with me. And I don't know what it is about him, because I don't notice this on any of the other performers. But he kind of went with a swept back hair look this week. Didn't look as hokey as it did last week.
Yeah.
So, I liked it. I liked the song. I think he did a great job. I'm with you. I really like the song, but I also like the way he did the song. I like he had the string orchestra as well. I think that added a little bit more to it. Mm-hmm. Mel B said she had her doubts when she heard the. I've never heard this from the judges before, and I kind of guess that kind of makes sense that they know what the singers are singing before they sing it.
Yeah.
I just never thought of that before, that the judges would kind of have a little run sheet in front of them of what they were singing, because Howie and Mel B both commented on when they first saw what song he was singing, they kind of had their doubts, but then afterwards they really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was an interesting point. I would like to know how all that works.
I would think someone in production just hands them a sheet that says, here's what they're singing.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. Did you have more in mind for that?
I don't know. I mean, they could be strolling around the stage during rehearsals, or could be talking to the acts themselves.
That's true, yeah. Hey, so what you singing tonight? Huh? What you singing? what you got planned for tonight?
That's how it goes down in the Orville Lounge.
But apparently all of them liked the choice in the song. I actually thought before they gave their feedback that they would not have liked the choice in the song, but I was wrong.
Why did you think that?
I don't know. I just thought that... I don't know. I just had a feeling. I had a gut feeling they were going to say that it was the wrong song choice for him. But I was proven wrong. It was just a gut feeling. I had nothing to back it up on. But they proved me wrong.
Okay.
So, anything else for Brandon James?
There's a really good crowd tonight. Good energy.
Yes, there was a lot of energy. Am I missing something there?
No, it's there was just I just liked hearing them. They sounded very enthusiastic.
They did. They liked it. I was surprised. I didn't think they would.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Innovative Force, and they said it's amazing to make it to the top 12. And when they were announced, it lit a fire underneath their stomachs. We did see that one of the dancers got injured, but that may be something that's more common amongst them than we think it is.
Maybe so. My sister just got injured dancing, so.
Okay. It's apparently an impact sport that a lot of people get injured doing.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think of their performance?
I always love trampolines. They
Yes.
do bring something good to the act. I believe another judge said that too, but I was kind of surprised this got standing ovations. I feel like not much happened.
I was a little surprised by that too, but I liked it. I thought it was a very different take on what they've done before. Normally it's high energy. Last week they were told that what they do is more of like a cheerleading competition. Well, this week it was much more artistic.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I like the trampolines as well. I think trampolines just add something to a performance.
Mm-hmm.
We were told they are an innovative force to be reckoned with. How'd you like that?
I mean, I guess. Maybe up to this point.
Yeah. Howard was saying that the crowd's going crazy because they're so adorable and fun to watch. He liked the trampoline. You talked about that earlier, that he likes the trampoline. His biggest fear was that there are 6 acts better than them. What'd you think of that?
He's right.
Yeah, they were great. This performance was, I thought, great. I thought it was kind of in that 8-9 range. There's a couple of performances that just didn't do anything for me at all. But this one I still thought was great. I think they could have gotten in if another one just didn't do anything, but I didn't anticipate them getting in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Howie made an interesting point that their set kind of looked like what it would look like if Superman's father had cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I guess the set kind of looked like the Fortress of Solitude.
I guess so.
Anything else for Innovative Force?
No.
We then get the Kristoff brothers, and we flashed back to the previous week. Again, they're excited to be in the top 12. Who's not? And I think Taylor made this observation in his intro, didn't he? That who's not here to be excited about being in the top 12?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, you're here to win.
Uh-huh.
The Kristoff brothers said that winning this competition seemed like such a dream, and it's becoming more and more of a reality. Then they featured Chris's dad. And Chris's dad is kind of a dad to Stefan as well. And he told Stefan, "I gave you $50 if you can bench press Chris 10 times."
Yeah, it's a pretty good story.
And he won that bet, and his dad gave him $50 all in ones.
Nice.
Yep. Chris said that if it weren't for Stefan's dad, he'd be in jail, he'd be dead, or he'd be an accountant.
Yes.
Yeah. So then their performance was a how to be a Kristoff brother. And it was kind of like a little gym scene with and I kind of thought of it as like, have you seen those old Goofy cartoons where it's like how to be a skier, or how to go camping, or that type stuff?
No, I
Have
don't
you
think
seen those?
so.
These are old cartoons that primarily featured Goofy from Disney, but it's narrated by some other guy. So Goofy doesn't talk during them, but it's all like how to go camping or how to play baseball or how to go skiing or it's all these how tos. And of course, it's really funny because it's Goofy. Him making mistakes and just being all kinds of weird and goofy. So this kind of reminded me of that type thing. What did you think?
I liked the on-screen graphics and the whole presentation of it. I liked it. I thought it was a cool idea. And I thought it might be divisive, but for standing ovations.
Yeah, I thought it started a little slow because I didn't get what they were doing at first, but it picked up and it did get funny. I even liked the actors that were behind them. Did you notice them?
Yeah.
They were trying to do the Chris Steffs routines, but they couldn't. Like they weren't physically strong enough, and they were just bumbling around trying to do like the handstand and the holding each other up and
Mm-hmm.
the standing ovation was a little surprising. Again, I thought this was something else that the judges wouldn't like, and they might really criticize them. So I was blown away when I saw them doing a standing ovation for the Kristoff brothers.
Yeah, me too.
Howie called it Richard Simmons on steroids.
Yeah.
Howard said it took the routine and made it an SNL sketch.
Yeah, I guess.
Network plug for NBC.
Mm-hmm.
He said they are the first act that is definitely going to go through if people vote. Now, how many acts did Howard say you're going through to the finals?
I don't know, like 5. I think he had a full list of who he wanted, but I wasn't sure if that was a prediction or not.
Okay, yeah, at the end he did have a full list, but it seemed like each performance he would say, you're going through the finals, you're going through to the finals, you're going through to the finals. We then have D'Angelo and Amanda, and being the last 2 acts on the stage last week, in last week's performance, made D'Angelo very nervous. And we found out that D'Angelo saw his dad cry for the first time.
Yeah.
Now, this is the same dad that's in charge of the dance groups that we saw in, season 6 and season 7?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The number one reason for them to be in the finals is for his dad.
Oh. And also to crush Ruby and Jonas.
And also to what?
To crush Ruby and Jonas.
That's right. And I think they've already pretty much done that.
Yeah.
They didn't just make it through to 1 round.
Yeah.
So, I think they've got the upper hand when it comes to dancing in the family.
Yeah, but it's really cool that they were able to make it to the finals, or at least the top 12. It's very impressive.
It is. I actually didn't think they would make it this far at the very beginning. You and I both thought Ruby and Jonas were the better of the 2 groups, but they've turned it around and they've really surprised at least me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for their performance, they came out doing a Brazilian theme, and they had bongos and some other orchestral instruments. They had guys playing bongos. Amanda was wearing kind of a dress that had some feathers on it. They came down and they danced on the judges' platform.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
The whole thing had a lot of energy.
It did.
I don't know that it was top level.
I'm not. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was top level. I thought it was better than their last performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the theme. I liked the Brazilian theme.
Okay, I think I kind of like the last one better.
With the water.
Oh, that was the water one?
Yes.
No, I was thinking of the fighting one. Yeah,
The
I liked it better than the last one too.
Yeah, yeah, you had the fighting one in quarters, and then you had the water in semis, and then you had this one, the Brazilian theme.
Okay.
Um, Mel B said, "Welcome back to the competition."
Yeah.
Howie said something about Hispanic, and I'm like, it's not Hispanic, Howie. It's Brazilian. I mean, at first I actually thought it was an African theme, and I was able to find the song and determine it's a Brazilian theme. So even I kind of had that wrong.
Oh,
First.
okay.
Yeah. Any other season, Howard said this, any other season, D'Angelo and Amanda would be the winners of AGT.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they say that about a lot of people.
They do. And I'm not so sure about that. Even thinking back to season 7, with I know Olate Dogs was the winner. And speaking of Olate Dogs, we get them in the results show.
Yeah.
But with season 7, I thought there was still Tom Cotter and the Earth Harp that I would have picked over D'Angelo and Amanda.
Yeah. Season 7 was very good, talent-wise.
Do what?
Season 7 was very good, talent-wise.
Yes, it was. I think they would have been a finalist. I just don't know if they would have been the winner.
Mm-hmm.
But Howard seemed to have high hopes for D'Angelo and Amanda.
Yeah.
Did you notice we didn't get any questions about the relationship?
No, I did not, but that's cool.
Yeah, no, hey, how's the relationship going? Maybe she finally clued in D'Angelo of how things were, and they gave AGT a heads up not to ask anymore. Anything else for D'Angelo and Amanda?
That's all.
Next we get Catapult Entertainment, and in their intro, the director said that in their last performance, they tried to do too much. They tried to pack a lot of stuff in. And this week, they're going to make sure that their stories are clear. If you remember last week, they were told that none of the judges really got what the story was. The director also said that he hasn't seen his kids in weeks, and his kids are wanting to know when he's going to stop working.
Yeah.
For their performance, I thought the theme was a little interesting. They performed to the song "Stand By Me," and he said in the intro that it was going to be a kid versus a monster. And we find out in the story that the monster is bullying.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
That was kind of a cool teaser, I guess, but I didn't really think it was that interesting. I'm not really sure what the message was supposed to be or where the beauty was. I feel like it was one story that would have benefited a lot from words.
Okay. The story, from the way I saw it, and I didn't anticipate it being a bullying, because when you said a monster, I actually thought that he was going to be battling a monster, and I think partway through it, a monster did appear, but I think that just the story was, hey, we shouldn't be bullying people.
That's not an interesting story.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, the one that they did that I liked was the whole beauty of life thing and looking at everything, and I think that has sort of I don't know, something special when you look at it in a grand scope like that. But this is just like, I don't know, it's like a 4th grade PSA or something.
Okay. I really liked it. I especially liked the "Stand By Me" song, because it comes from the movie Stand By Me. Actually, I think it came out first, and then you had the movie Stand By Me, which is about 4 friends that go on an adventure. And then, of course, the song itself is just to mean, hey, be with me, come help me out type thing. I thought that the shadows were much better than last week. Last week we saw a lot of rigging. They made some mistakes. I thought it was much smoother. I liked it. They even had a little doggy in it. Like one of the people even came a little dog with his tongue sticking out. And he's all happy. But the way they kind of showed the other kids picking on and bullying the one kid, I didn't get that at first. It didn't come out initially as like a bullying thing, but then it eventually grew into a bullying type story. So I don't know. You may be right that there's not much of a lesson there. I mean, I guess we do get a lot of PSAs. The performance as a whole, I really liked it. To kind of sum up my rant there.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you liked it. Howard made another bad prediction.
Yeah, he told them they're going through.
Oh, that was kind of funny to watch from the future.
Yeah. He said he loved Catapult from the beginning. They took a stumble last week, came back. They said they told a simple story.
Yeah.
We get a silhouettes mention from Howie.
Yeah. What did he
So
say about that?
he said that people have been tweeting him at Howie Mandel at AGTcast and mentioning that we have silhouettes and why is this so much better and why do they keep saying good things about this when we had silhouettes last year? Well, his point was last year we had singers, last year we had dancers. So what? It's a new season. We're going to kind of start, as someone does something, then we're going to kind of see people do the same thing down the road, I think was his point. He's like, I know we had silhouettes. Silhouettes was great. So what? This is a new season.
Yeah, well, I guess it's a good point.
It is, but I think you and I are still kind of in the same ballpark that it's a direct ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's just there's more of a question about how much they're really doing on their own.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Well, I mean, there's people who might be seeing this one for the first time and thinking this is the original and things like that. And
okay.
There's just sort of a shared understanding when you see singers and things like that. I mean, it's almost more of a challenge then because people have seen it so many times. So it's like, sort of in that weird spot.
It's like, how do you innovate? How do you keep doing new stuff? If you're a singer or a dancer or comedian?
Yeah, I mean, they almost like, it's almost to their detriment that they do something that somebody else has already done. But with Catapult, they get the benefits, I guess, and none of the challenges from, I guess, rising to what Silhouettes did, I guess.
Okay, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Anything else for Catapult Entertainment?
Nope.
Well, we find out Olate Dogs and Terry Fader are going to be on the results show.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we get Forte. In the intro, Mel B got excited that Forte was doing so well. And they said they're just one show away from the finale.
Yeah.
I guess glad they're paying attention because we didn't know how far away the finale was.
Yeah, that's true.
People on the street been asking them for photographs and their autographs. We found out that I guess the new guy, the guy that wasn't there in auditions, the tall one, he says I guess maybe one of his parents are from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And that people in Sri Lanka are rallying around Forte.
Yeah, there's some kind of racial division there, and he is biracial from the two ones that are fighting. So that was awesome. I really like that detail. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I had no idea that he was. I mean, just looking, you can't tell that. But it's great that there were two sides that, even though they're kind of battling each other, that they're kind of rallying together Like they even had a full page article or feature in a newspaper in Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they said people from different backgrounds are forming harmony because all three of them are from different backgrounds.
Yes.
Well, when I heard this song that they sang, my thought was, I want to know what Cody Mims thought of this, because I know how he feels about opera singers. I know how he's felt about Forte in particular. But when they sang "My Heart Will Go On" from Titanic, I knew there was going to be something out there to hear.
Yeah, I honestly don't like this song as much as the one Brandon James did, but yeah, this group is pretty good. I don't want to disappoint you. I wanted to like this performance, but I feel like their voices just don't blend in the way that I want them to. It's I don't know. The notes just seem to have some kind of opera clutter, and I wish they were cleaner. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just I don't know why they have to do it in this style, and it's like too much vibrato. Notes are not on point. I don't know. What do you think about it?
No, that's actually what I was expecting from you. Was that I was expecting you to kind of rip them apart, because it's a very cliched the song from Titanic that we've heard a million times. Mm-hmm. Now, they did sing it in Spanish, which I think is still really cool. This is the second time they've sang a song in Spanish. They sang Unchained Melody last week in Spanish, and now they sang this whole song in Spanish. I'm glad they didn't sing it in English. I think that would have been even more cliche to sing it. But maybe they could have sang it in Italian or French, or especially since they're opera singers. Maybe they have someone that speaks Spanish that's really good at translating songs. I don't know. But as far as their singing, I'm on the flip side of you. You don't think that they harmonize very well. Is that what I'm catching?
I guess. I think it's just opera in general. There's too much vibrato.
I'm kind of in the same ballpark as like Howie and Howard, that I think their harmonies are fantastic. They harmonize. You can hear each part individually, but then all of a sudden they hit a part of the song where all three of them just come together, and I think it just adds a lot of power to it. I'm not sure this was the best song to pick. I mean, it was fine. It was a little surprising when I think Nick kind of teased it that it was a popular song from a movie. I did not expect this. So I really liked it. I thought they did a fantastic job. Howard said that they're going to go through to the finals.
Yeah, finally, good prediction.
Yeah. Heidi gave it 3 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mel B gave a shout out to the set designer.
Yeah.
She's really liked the way that the set designer has set up the sets tonight.
Yeah.
Mel B said they're definitely going through.
Mm-hmm.
Howie said 3 talented men singing a song synonymous with a sinking ship has brought this evening to such heights. Okay, so anyway, I liked it. You apparently didn't like it, which is what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So, I think I was building it up just because I know you're not a big fan of Forte. This was a very cliched type song, so I knew you'd kind of have some strong feelings about it.
Yeah, well, they're good opera singers, but that only goes so far with me, unfortunately.
Okay, I think that's fair. Anything else for Forte?
Nope.
Well, then we get your boy Taylor Williamson, and he is excited to be the top 12 most talented one of the top 12 most talented people in America. And he's been saying it for years. He's glad someone
Yeah.
finally noticed.
Mm-hmm.
He said getting a standing ovation from Howie and Howard is so special. They're his comedy father and mother. Howie was the first first stand-up comedian he ever saw. Was that a little surprising?
Yeah, that was cool.
You think you saw him in Radio City Music Hall in 1983?
I don't know.
You think he was? I don't think he was even born yet.
Yeah.
He said the success he's had is 10 years in the making, and he's tired. He's tired of being a starving artist.
Yeah.
So he comes out to the song "We Are Family," and he tells some John Wing family jokes.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
It was some decent jokes. He made me laugh a bit. He made me smile. Once again, he made me laugh more after the show than in the actual act.
Yes.
It's just so easy to love him.
Yeah, so after the show, they're going through each of the judges. Howard, Howie, and Heidi are just raving about him. I mean, they just absolutely love him. Said it was great, whatever. They get to Mel B, and Mel B goes, well, and they just stop her right there. And he's like, go back to Howard, go back to Howard. They would not let Mel B give her piece at all.
Yeah.
You're right. That whole couple minutes was the best part of the night.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about on Taylor? Seemed kind of quiet on him this evening.
I don't know. His separating like the things on the ends of his performances are almost better than his material. I don't actually remember any of the jokes that he told, but I did enjoy it for sure.
Well, one of them was he wasn't allowed to play Cowboys and Indians. He's only allowed to play Cowboys and Native Americans.
Yeah.
I think he wrecked his mom's car, or he broke something, his mom was going to send him the bill. So he said, "Okay, so I'm going to send you the bill for my therapist."
Yeah, that one was funny.
Yeah, and Heidi even kind of mentioned that as well, that she's going to send Taylor the bill for her therapist.
Yeah.
But it was mainly just some kind of family jokes, kind of like John Wing does, but in Taylor Williamson style.
Well, cool.
Yep. He even played up to the voters at the end of his after the after.
Yeah.
He said he loves NASCAR and One Direction.
Yeah.
And he hates homework. That's right.
That might have been what made me laugh the hardest.
So he's playing to the youngsters, he's playing to the South, and he's playing to the teens.
Yeah.
I think he knows where his bread is buttered. Anything else for Taylor?
I guess not.
Okay. Then we get Colin's Key. And of course, last week he tried to get a girlfriend using magic, which is very creepy. It didn't really work out for him. Found out she had a boyfriend. So he's still single, ladies. Still a single guy. All the single ladies out there, get Colin's Key. He almost gave up magic due to peer pressure. And he said if he won, he would be the youngest magician to win, but he'd also be the only magician to win. And I'm surprised that we haven't had a magician win in 7 seasons.
Yeah.
So we find out during his performance that he's putting $250,000 of Nick's money on the line.
Wow.
Would you have thought... So he's going to use Nick's watch. Would you thought Nick's shiny gold blingy watch was $250,000?
No, definitely not.
No, it's a nice looking watch. I'm not sure I would have thought it was a quarter mil. So basically the trick was he put the watch in a bag, and then he had Howie set his watch to a certain time, and he had the judges like pick bags, and he was supposed to smash them. Was that kind of the trick?
Yeah.
Did you get this trick at all?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen some other magicians do it, so I don't know. It was pretty decent. Changing the time is very cool.
Okay, I thought the whole thing was really bad.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, I think there was even a mess up where he tried to crush one of the bags and it fell or something happened, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to recover.
Yeah.
If this were John Dorenbos from season 11, I have a feeling that he would have had 2 or 3 recoveries in his pocket to fix that.
Maybe so.
But at that point, I knew something was wrong. Howard's mentioned several times about his timing and his pacing, that his acts always go long.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy this at all. I didn't think it was very good.
Okay.
I thought this was one of the worst performances of the night.
Dang.
Yeah, this was so low from what everyone else has done. It was boring to watch. The timings were all bad. He messed up. There was just all kinds of issues. I don't think Collins has actually been very good since. Did he perform in Vegas? I don't remember. But early. I don't think he's been good since early.
Interesting.
It seems he's got a big following.
Yeah.
For voters. Because I just don't think his acts have been very good.
Yeah.
So, that's all I've got for Collins. Do you have anything else for Collins?
No.
Then we get to Kenichi Abina. And Kenichi told us that he's not an emotional guy. But it felt so good when they called his name. And his wife says that he needs to express more emotion. He's going to be more artistic, risky, and it's going to be beautiful if his vision works.
Yeah, that's nice.
What'd you think of this?
This was a risky performance. One of the most interesting performances of the night, I think. He had me at the start, but it didn't do it for me. I know the flying moment is a big thing. Nick was very amazed by that. I don't understand it at all.
Wow, I am completely on board with you on this. I did not get it at all either. It was very artistic. It was not as high energy as his last couple of performances have been. There was some timing in it, but I don't think there was as much timing in it as there has been, especially with like his projection work from last week.
Yeah.
And the video game that he did, I guess maybe in quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see what he was doing with the being artistic. He wanted to show his dancing. Now he did some of the tricks, his dancing tricks that he did way back in auditions. But I think at this point we were so used to his fun projection work that we'd forgotten how much he can actually dance.
Yeah.
Now the flying stuff I thought was cool, but it was just a strobe light, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he would just jump and the light would come on, then he'd jump again, the light would come on again.
Yeah, it was very slow too. I'm not sure how people were even getting the effect.
No, because it's like they were getting him at the height of his jump.
Yeah.
I mean, the timing on that's really cool because you have to get him at the height of his jump. That's what makes it look slow. So the angel thing at the end was a little weird.
Yeah, that gave me horror vibes.
Gave you why?
Because he did a similar thing where he was in some giant wings, didn't he?
I don't remember that. No, because in auditions he just danced. He didn't perform in Vegas. Quarterfinals, he did his video game. Last week, he did the projection where he switched with himself.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it gave me it reminded me of the season 11 act Hara.
Oh, Hara. Yes. Yes, which didn't go very far.
Yeah, he kind of I meant to ask if Kenichi reminded you of him earlier, but
Yeah. As I was watching this, especially at the end, then I was like, that does remind me of Hara.
okay.
I don't think it reminded me of Hara before tonight.
Yeah.
But watching this, I thought it was very much like Hara.
Okay, cool.
Did Hara get his inspiration from Kenichi?
It's very possible.
Okay. So you and I are both on board that we didn't get this.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't feel good about Kenichi going into the results.
Yeah.
Because of this. I didn't think people would get it. Now, all the judges loved it. I mean, obviously, it's Kenichi. He's greatness. But I just think it was, like you said, a very risky move to do something like this.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, so they're just telling him he has to vote. Howard's, of course, telling him he's going to move on. He tells everybody they're going to move on. Yeah, anything else for Kenichi?
Nope, but season 12 of AGT is kicking off right about now. I see someone put a video on Instagram of Simon's entrance.
Only Simon's?
I think so. Let me watch it real quick.
Okay. We're going to pause here for a moment while we get some breaking AGT news.
It was just the announcer said Simon Cowell, and then it played some metal music.
Okay. Well,
I guess we'll probably know soon, though.
Yeah, keep your eyes open for that.
Okay.
We may have breaking AGT news right here on this podcast.
Yeah. Oh. Well, okay. So it was a voice, I believe, just some announcer.
Yeah, that's my guessing. It's just some announcer that does it.
But it's usually doesn't Nick say it?
I don't know if no, I think for like auditions, then it's because since it's pre-taped, I bet it's some announcer that just introduces the judges for the night. Nick may do it once the live performances, but I think the judges are already kind of down. Well, I'm gonna backtrack here for a moment. An announcer probably does it to announce the judges into the concert hall. But then I think Nick just comes on stage and then just says, and here we have our judges, and then kind of introduces each one. What they're seeing is the announcement of the judges coming into the concert hall.
Okay, well, I hope they're not going hostless, but...
I don't see how they could.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody back there that's interacting with the performers right now.
Yeah, well, I'll try to keep us posted through this podcast.
Yeah, pay attention. Keep listening, everybody. We're going to have breaking AGT news coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So let's continue with our performances while we keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have Jimmy Rose, and we get another viewing of Cole Keeps the Lights On.
Yeah.
That was great to see.
Mm-hmm.
We find out his mom was the first one to inspire him to sing, but she's not able to make it to Radio City Music Hall because she has congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
So we hope 3 or 4 years later that Mrs. Rose is still doing okay.
Yeah.
He says he's going to fight for his place in the finals. That was great to hear from Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Something I really didn't expect to hear, but it was great to hear him say it.
Yeah.
Jimmy decided to mix things up tonight, and he went with the electric guitar.
Uh-huh.
And he sang God Gave Me You by Blake Shelton.
Yeah, he didn't say this song was for his mom, but it's clear that it is.
Right. I think he said in his intro that even though she can't be there, she is still there. And I think I agree with you. I think this was kind of a tribute to her.
Yeah.
Um, what'd you think of his singing? What'd you think of the choice of the song? Did you like the choice?
Um, I mean, I don't like country music, and I remember really not liking Jimmy and not liking that he got this far. But it wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't get bored, which is kind of an achievement for singers. um, yeah, the song choice it was okay.
Um, yeah, I like that he went with the electric guitar. I thought it was really great that he shook things up.
Yeah, I like that.
Um, I'm not familiar with the song. I'm not a big Blake Shelton fan. I don't really listen to modern country music, but I thought he did a pretty good job with it. You remember how much I ripped him about "If Tomorrow Never Comes" by Garth Brooks last week, but I thought that was better than this.
Yeah.
Um, it was a good song. He did a good job at the song. But I'm on kind of the same page the judges are, that it just didn't wow me.
Yeah, I kind of liked the last one better too, I think. I don't know if it was because I put it in for our intro music or not, but yeah, I feel like this time he wasn't coming out enough to not get overpowered by the background vocals. And, Howard had it right. It wasn't a wow moment.
No, it was a nice moment. It was a good song. I think Jimmy Rose is going to be fine. Um, I don't know if he's a winner. I don't think he's going to win. I think he will do fine in the music career though. I've never heard of Jimmy Rose except for this show, so I'm not sure if he's actually putting any records out. But I'm sure he's probably touring around and doing okay.
Okay. So, do you think he got through on his own merits, or what do you think this was more of a sympathy vote thing?
It was probably more of a sympathy vote. I think that there were other acts that were better than him. I think he was kind of in that same range as Innovative Force, kind of in that 7, 8, 9 area. Obviously, it was much better than what Collins Key did. I think it was better than what Chicago Boys did. So I think it was probably there's probably a lot of country fans out there that really like him, want to see him move on.
Yeah.
So, anything else for Jimmy Rose?
He looked like he almost started crying when Howard said he didn't have an emotional connection to the song. Did you see that?
I didn't notice that. No.
Okay. I think he probably did. I think this was probably for his mom, and Howard wasn't really feeling that. So he probably was kind of hurt when he said that.
Is he the one that said he was kind of playing it safe by picking this song?
I think so.
And he wasn't taking much risks, and that's probably in that same thing that he said he didn't have an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I missed the emotional connection part.
Okay.
But no, I agree with you that it's a song for his mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts on Jimmy Rose?
No.
Okay. We then get Cammie Bradley, and she says it's a surreal feeling to be in the top 12. Her dad got real emotional. He inspired her. Her father will be in the audience this week. And she's saying "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi. Now, didn't we get a Bon Jovi reference last week?
When was that?
Weren't we told that somebody was, maybe Anna Christine or somebody was going to get Bon Jovi to sing with her?
Yeah. It was that musical sheet of the performances they're going to do. I got confused.
Yeah. So what did you think of Cammie Bradley's "Living on a Prayer"?
Her great voice plus this kind of arrangement is fantastic. It was very cool that she did that song, and she really came alive when she got up from the piano. It was all very good. It made me smile.
Yeah, she has a great voice. I think she has great stage presence. I have in big capital letters, wrong song choice.
Really?
Yes. When I hear Living on a Prayer, her style is not what I think of at all. I think it'd been great if like American Hitmen had sang Living on a Prayer.
Okay.
Brandon and Savannah, I think would have been great with Living on a Prayer. I really like Cammie Bradley. She has an awesome voice. She's a great, great singer. My opinion, absolutely wrong song choice.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's everyone else really liked it. I'm probably in the minority on this.
Yeah.
Howard said that she reminds her of Linda Ronstadt. Do you know Linda Ronstadt?
No.
She was kind of a pop singer. I guess I'm not sure what that era was, but she was a big singer back in like the 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
Kind of the adult contemporary, I guess maybe type songs she would sing.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it was fine. Just my opinion, wrong song choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else for Cammie?
No.
Do you have anything else for any of the performances?
Nope.
Well, you ready to get into some results?
Yes.
Okay. So at the beginning of the results show, any news on? Have they announced Heidi or?
Not that
Mel
I can
B?
see.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so we get Collins Key, Taylor, and Jimmy Rose are all meeting fans outside, having a wonderful time, getting their picture taken. We find out one of the guys from Chicago Boys took ownership of messing up the trick, and he's absolutely heartbroken that he messed up. Now, I'm not sure what part he messed up, because I think the mistake was like when they were jump roping. So I'm not sure what part was actually messed up. I just saw they messed up on the jump rope.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. The Kristoff brothers said they've been saving this performance. Said it's time to unleash the beast.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rose said that Catapult did a mini movie. Would you have considered that a mini movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Short little thing.
Yeah, that you didn't think went anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Brandon James looking worried. Yeah, this was just my observation. Brandon James was looking worried when Forte was singing.
Uh-huh.
Which, if you had to pick one of the two, which would you have picked? If you had to vote for one of them, which one would you have voted for?
I don't know. I hear things that Forte is technically better, but I think I like Brandon James more this time.
Okay. Going in, I think early on in auditions and maybe Vegas, probably quarterfinals, I felt Brandon James was kind of a favorite going into this. He seemed to have a lot of hype going into it, but we hadn't seen much of him, so we really didn't know a lot of his story. And then all of a sudden in semifinals, we're seeing Brandon James everywhere, but I personally didn't have a connection with him because we didn't see him a whole lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like he was a favorite, like everybody loved him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. I think he's kind of fallen off in the last couple of weeks, so that was just kind of an early thing. I noticed Taylor was holding Snapple water.
Oh, okay.
A water bottle that had Snapple on it, so kind of a little product placement there.
Yeah.
And then we find out Mel B was going to say that she didn't like Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Howie actually asked her in break, "What were you going to say?" She said, "Oh, well, I was going to say I didn't like it."
Oh.
How could you not like it? I mean,
I don't know.
okay. Nick asked Howard if it was easy for America to pick.
Yeah.
Howard
said no.
Yeah, well, he said he watched it on TV last night and said that every act would sell out their shows.
Okay.
We then go to the Orville Lounge, back to the frat party. We see Taylor checking for ID from Innovative Force. So he's
What
like,
is that?
He's like, what are you doing in here? You're underage. How'd you get in here? And
Oh,
they said, we have popcorn. Everybody's got
okay.
popcorn. We go to Olate Dogs, but we get this thing that Tom Cotter is at. It's called the Best Stuff Viewing Party. So apparently somebody won like a viewing party from AGT from Snapple. Do you remember
Cool.
this?
No.
So Tom Cotter is like the host at this party, and
Oh, yeah.
they go to him like 2 or 3 times throughout the show.
Yeah, okay. I do remember this.
Okay, and he had to introduce Olate Dogs.
Yeah.
So we get Olate Dogs for a little bit, and I know I've talked about Olate Dogs before. I love dogs. I have a dog. I've had a dog all my life. They were a great act. I just felt there were other acts that were better and deserved to win.
Yeah.
There. Soapbox done.
It was a very good season. I mean, I kind of agree with you.
It was very good, and that was very controversial. So,
Yeah.
Nick goes out to the streets to see if he can find talent for season 9.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. What do you call a seeing eye cow for blind people?
Spot.
Hamburger helper.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, he found a comedian that was telling jokes for $1. He found some guys that were doing acrobats on pogo sticks, which I thought was kind of cool. Yeah. He found a couple other things. So he was just checking out Times Square for season 9 talent.
Nice.
Well, then we get right into some results, and they do this in pairs. So we're not going to get, I'll just tell you now, we're not going to get both of you or neither of you. So it's going to be one or the other.
Okay.
So our first couple is the Chicago Boys and Kenichi Abina.
Oh. That's going to be Kenichi Abina.
It is Kenichi Abina. And this was interesting because I've been thinking about this for a while. This is the first time that they've talked to an act that did not go through.
Oh, okay.
So they talked to Chicago Boys for a moment, and those dudes, they looked totally bummed that they didn't get put through.
Interesting.
Yes, they just said it's been a great experience, congratulated Kenichi, all that type stuff, but still kind of looked really bummed. So it's great that they talked to the losing performances, because I've just been curious about that pretty much the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Mel B said it was so sad to see someone go, and told the guy that it wasn't his fault that they didn't go through. So,
Interesting.
even though they made a mistake, it wasn't his fault because they didn't go through.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so I checked up on the Chicago Boys, see what they're doing today. They are still actively performing. They schedule gigs. They have stuff going on. So, Chicago Boys still out there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Our next couple is Innovative Force and Cammie Bradley.
Okay. I think that's Cammie Bradley.
It is Cammie Bradley. Yes, it is. They just talked to Innovative Force for a moment. So happy to be there. Blah blah blah. That type of stuff. I did a little checking on what Innovative Force is doing today. They stopped.
Okay.
They stopped posting on their Facebook page in 2014.
Oh, wow.
The website on the AGT wiki, it redirects to the dance studio's website.
Okay.
So as far as I could tell, R.I.P. Innovative Force.
Yeah.
It's been reabsorbed back into the dance studio.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay.
I'm sure these girls are probably dancing and doing other stuff and competing, or some have probably moved on to college, whatnot, but this particular team doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
We then check in at the viewing party. They're having a great time. with Tom Cotter. He's probably telling a lot of great jokes. We then get Terry Fator.
Cool.
I'll be honest. I went ahead and just fast forwarded through Terry Fator. I mean, he's greatness. It's Terry Fator. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Season 2 winner of Terry Fator. Did you know that?
Yeah, he wasn't season 1.
Season 2. Yep.
Cool.
We then get a little clip of winning means everything to all of them.
Nice.
Yep. So they want to win, and who doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay, our next group is the Kristoff brothers and Taylor Williamson.
That's Taylor Williamson.
It is Taylor Williamson, and before they released the results, Howard said America's got something wrong because both of these acts should be going through.
Yeah.
So that was a tough group.
Yeah, I agree.
Kristoff brothers still performing, still together, still doing stuff. So it's great to hear.
Cool.
The next group we get is Forte and Brandon James.
I'm gonna say that's Forte.
It is Forte. Howie said it was difficult for America to separate the two acts. He said both acts were good. Then we had this little thing. This was really weird. Mel B flicks Howie on the head. Like Howie was trying to make some point, and Mel B just flicks him on the head. And he's like, "What'd you do that for?" And she said, "Because Twitter told me to."
Okay.
Like, people on Twitter were telling her to flick him on the head, so she did.
All right.
And he's just looking at her like, "Really?" I'm like, trying to do something serious here and, talk about these guys, and you're flicking me on the head. It's like, good job, Mel D.
Dang. Yeah.
The same person that didn't like Taylor Williamson's also the one just interrupting precious moments.
Yeah, they're like that. Those Taylor Williamson haters.
So let me ask you this. What do you think the original guy of Forte, the one that no longer was able to continue on after auditions, what's he thinking right now?
He's thinking, I'm going to rejoin this group.
Is it becoming Quad-Tay at this point?
No, one of the guys leaves them, and then he comes back in.
Oh, you did. You told me that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'd forgotten that you'd mentioned that. So, okay.
It's a surprise.
Yeah, okay. But he was not able to perform in the competition.
No.
He joined them after he rejoined them after the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, I completely forgot that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Our next group was D'Angelo and Amanda and Jimmy Rose.
That's Jimmy Rose.
It is Jimmy Rose, and I was really surprised by this.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking with these two it was going to be D'Angelo and Amanda. I just didn't think Jimmy Rose was as top notch. Now, you didn't think D'Angelo and Amanda were as top notch, right?
Yeah, but I mean, on Jimmy Rose.
Okay. He gave a 9/11 tribute. This was filmed on 9/11.
Yeah.
I did a little check on D'Angelo and Amanda. Now, it seems like they're still doing stuff, but they haven't posted anything. They had an active Instagram. They're kids, so they got to do the Instagram. But they hadn't posted anything in almost a year.
Oh.
Now, they showed some pictures of the two of them, and it's been 3 or 4 years now, and they grew up.
Okay.
They've grown up. D'Angelo's gotten pretty ripped.
Okay.
Looks like he's been working out. And then Amanda's just grown up into a a young woman.
Cool.
Okay, our last group is Catapult Entertainment and Collins Key.
That's Collins Key.
Yeah. Disappointingly, it's Collins Key.
Yeah.
This was a complete shocker for me that he went through over Catapult Entertainment.
Uh-huh.
So it just got me thinking that he has to have a pretty strong following.
Yeah. I think he does.
I think he calls them his keepers.
Oh, okay.
So we have Taylors and we have Collins keepers.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, I was blown away by this because I thought between the two of them, Catapult was much better than Collins was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like either of them that much.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Catapult is currently touring in Germany, so they're pretty active. It's good for them.
Yeah.
So that means, supposedly, we have one more show with a final 6.
Uh-huh.
Unless they decide to say that we're going to a final 3 and have them perform again.
Yeah.
So we have Kenichi, Cammy, Taylor, Forte, Jimmy Rose, and Collins Key as our final 6. That is a pretty good mixture of talents.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have 2 solo singers, a singing group, a comedian, a magician, and a dancer.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really good, yeah. We don't have a danger act, which, I mean, you could see if Kenichi could be a danger act, but it's a dancing variety act. So, I like it. I think it's a nice mixture of stuff. It's not 4 singers and and 2 dancers. I was saying that Kenichi, we don't have a danger act, but Kenichi is kind of a dancing variety act, so that really works out well.
Yeah, who knows what he's gonna do?
Oh yeah, it's a nice mixture. We don't have 4 singers and 2 dancers.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with this. I think it's, except for Collins Key, I think it's, and maybe Jimmy. No, I think Jimmy Rose is fine. Well, yeah, except for Jimmy Rose and Collins Key, I could have gone with D'Angelo and Catapult. I think it's really good.
Yeah, Collins Key was in your top 10 predictions.
Yeah, I think I had Collins early just because he was really wowing me, but he's really let me down the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I had Forte, Collins, Taylor, and Kenichi. I have all 4 of them still in the show.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm doing pretty well there. Now, from this, without knowing what their actual finals performance is, I still think Taylor and Kenichi are probably the runaway favorites in this. Unless Collins Key just makes a complete rebound and does something absolutely amazing. I don't think he's in the running for it. I don't think Jimmy Rose has the chops to win this. Forte would be a close one. I think they might. Yeah, I think it actually could be a 4-way run without Jimmy Rose and Collins Key. I think it could be a 4-way race. I could pick Kenichi, Cammy, Taylor, or Forte.
All right, interesting prediction.
So I'll make a much better prediction after we see the performances next week. So what our plan is, and we were going to do it this week, but since it's not really finals, we'll look at doing it next week. We'll watch the performances. We'll come and we'll record the podcast. We'll then take a break and go and watch the results so that my reaction is fresh. I can make a prediction before the results are announced of who I think's going to win. And then we'll come back and we'll record my reaction from the results. But we'll make it one big podcast. We'll just have the results. We'll have a break between the two. Maybe some nice little music to kind of to transition between the performances and the results. You excited? Finals?
Yeah. Hey, I just got a tweet came in from Bernal Reekers with hashtag exclusive. This is just someone who's there, I think. It says Brandon Michael Smith to host NBC AGT.
Brandon Michael Smith.
Yeah.
So he is the one from... so his resume is he was on That's So Raven and So Random. He's a Disney kid at one point.
Cool.
So...
He's going to get on AGT and say, this isn't going to be like Disney.
No,
this will be a scandal all over again.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure how... That's So Raven. That was probably, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
So, of course, he's grown up now. He's not a teenager now, but... be interesting. We don't know anything about him. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. We'll just have to wait until, I guess, around Memorial Day when it airs. Just see how he does.
Yeah. So, I guess there's some articles that they've been saying this was sort of going to be the case. So I guess this is reliable. I don't actually know if she's there or not. So, I guess we're just sort of taking it as it comes.
Kind of gotta take her for her word. We'll just have to see. Now, if you all are listening to this and you hear us talk about him and it's completely wrong, well, we apologize. It's now on the internet forever. So,
yeah, I guess the show should be starting right about now. Maybe
it is. Well, it's 8:00 on the East Coast. That'd be 5:00 on the West Coast. So that would make sense. I figured it would have started 9:00 this morning if they're watching auditions all day.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, okay, well, Brandon Michael Smith it is.
Cool.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Breaking news right here on AGT Cast.
Uh-huh.
Anything else for tonight's show?
That's all I got.
Well, as a reminder to everybody, you can reach out to us on Twitter at AGTcast. We'll get that retweeted out for everyone, for all 6 of our followers. Hopefully we can get more. And also reach us on Facebook at AGTcast. Send us an email. We've gone through almost a whole season. No emails. Come on, listeners. We need some emails. agtcast@gmail.com. We want your reactions for Season 8. We want to talk about them.
Yeah.
So, anything else for the show? For Brandon Michael Smith? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't really know Brandon Michael Smith. I can't say a lot at this time, but we'll see you for finals, I guess.
Okay, yeah, we'll see everyone at finals.
For real this time.
For real this time. We aren't just making that up. Everyone have a good night.
Good night.